Paddy's dead! He's not really, but today I'm hosting the show because he's off with his baby somewhere.
He's fallen in the trash compactor, I think. Been eaten by the dying ogre.
Uh-oh. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got all for Han Solo news because that film is falling apart and we need to talk about it. We've got some other things as well. We're talking about Boba Fett. We're talking about Forces of Destiny. We're talking about Battlefront. All this and much, much more on Force Talk. Shabam! Unlimited power! I'm getting a bit excited about having Paddy's chair today.
You are a bit.
So let's batten down the hatches and get on to for absolute mess, which is turning out to be the Han Solo film, which when announced everybody was like, yay, kind of. And we had months and months and months of actor speculation. And we finally landed on Alden Ehrenreich, which is a very hard to pronounce name. Sorry if I got it wrong. But it's now looking like he's got an actor coach in.
Yeah.
Is that uncommon? I hear not so uncommon.
It's particularly uncommon. I think it's, from what's happened, I think it's been a case he's been on set and Lord and Miller, the directors, have been pushing a lot of improv from what we hear. And I think the poor guy's probably trying to be following the script, being told to do improv, and now they've got the new director on board, which obviously we'll come on to. I think it's a case they've just put the acting coach on just to help steer him in the right direction. I don't think it necessarily means he's a bad actor, which is kind of what when you read that, you immediately think, oh God, he needs an acting coach, this guy's crap. But
he's just trying to please everyone, isn't he?
It's not, I don't think it's that. I actually feel sorry for the guy. He probably just needs a bit of guidance to get him back on track, so...
The film is reportedly becoming a bit of a mess. We've had, over the last couple of weeks, we've had Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who directed for Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street, get booted from the production by Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy. So, they've had some words to say on the matter. Unfortunately, our vision and process weren't aligned with our partners on this project. We normally aren't fans of the phrase creative differences, but what for once this cliche is true. We are really proud of the amazing and world-class work of our casting crew. So, that's what they said. But it looks like they're not on the film anymore, and it looks like we don't even know if they're going to be credited. So, it's still up in the air. So what do you guys make of that, Sarah?
Well, your impersonation was a bit...
Have you ever heard them talk? It's exactly like that.
Is it really? I think they're just being a bit sour that they've been booted.
How so?
Wouldn't you be sour?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How about you, Mike?
I mean, it's quite unprecedented, really, to actually fire the directors 3 weeks away from the end of filming. I mean, don't forget, this is like months of filming. It started in February, I think, shooting, and it was 3 weeks from the end, and they've actually fired the directors. It's pretty bad. It doesn't really get much worse than that. It's pretty much unheard of from what I know. It's not unusual to bring another director in, but not so late in the process.
We had something similar with the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Ant-Man, which is Edgar Wright getting booted out of that film and replaced. And now we've had something similar in Star Wars, but the difference is this is way late on the game. Edgar Wright reportedly didn't really do that much in Ant-Man. Like, he filmed like quite a few scenes, but not nearly. Like, let's put it this way: we're 3 weeks off finishing shooting, and I've heard reports that they were tasked with filming 15 scenes in a day or 15 things in a day and getting about 3 done because of spending so much time doing improv.
Which, when you look at like the producer on a film, obviously they've got a budget. They've got to hit a certain number of scenes a day, get all the setups, get all the props done.
Of course,
they've got to bring it in on time. So if if you're like the producer on that film, you're Kathleen Kennedy in this case, and you're coming in with just like three shots when you're slated to do 15, it's just you're going to be hemorrhaging money. And I mean, it's just, I just can't understand how Lord and Miller have been tasked with making a Star Wars movie, and they were letting it slip like that behind time. And what really concerned me that I've heard is, like you've just mentioned, a lot of the time on set they were getting the actors to do one take off the script, and then they were getting them to do improv and just go off and do their own thing, and making a few takes doing that, which they were then going to mix and match from the script. But when you've got Lawrence Kasdan as the scriptwriter, who basically co-wrote The Empire Strikes Back, he wrote Return of the Jedi, he knows Star Wars inside out better than anyone. He practically created the Han Solo character that we know. Him and his son have written the script for the Han Solo film, and apparently it's one of the best scripts people have said that they've ever read for a Star Wars film. And then the directors go and take it in a different direction. There's even reports from the set that they weren't even following the story. The story was actually changing. So I'm actually quite glad they've been sent off the job, because if you've got Lawrence Kasdan writing such a great script, don't go off and improv and make your own film. It's a gift that you've got Lawrence Kasdan's script. So I'm quite glad, really.
From what I understand, Lord and Miller felt like they had sort of done their dues and like put their time into the film industry, creating these big budget films like the Lego Movie and like 21 Jump Street, which are major studio productions. Gareth Edwards, however, had mostly worked on smaller productions. So they were thinking, well, he's like a little indie director, we're the big time, so we want to put our own stamp on it, and they weren't willing to budge, from what I understand from all the various articles that I've read. So that led to apparently Alden Ehrenreich going in to Kathleen Kennedy, reportedly, this is unconfirmed, but apparently he was the guy who tipped Kathleen off that things weren't exactly going to plan and were actually a little bit rubbish, which led to Kathleen Kennedy reviewing the footage and taking a big old dump all over it and firing the directors even. And this is the statement that she had to say about it. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are talented filmmakers who have assembled an incredible cast and crew. It has become clear that we have a creative different visions on this film, and we've decided to part ways. So we don't know if they're going to be even mentioned on the credits yet. But not long after, we have Ron Howard, who goes all the way back to American Graffiti. He was in that film, so he's got close ties with Lucasfilm. He's jumped in. A lot of people have gone, why isn't Lawrence Kasdan directing? He wrote it. So why do you guys think that might be, Sarah? Why isn't Lawrence Kasdan, accomplished film director?
Isn't the rumours that he is directing it in the background, though?
Well, there is some rumours saying that, yeah.
I think there's some issue as well with the Directors Guild in America. For some reason, because he's the screenwriter, he can't be the director. There's some actual legal reason he can't direct the film. So I think they brought Ron Howard in because he's, like I say, a bit of a buddy into of Lucasfilms. He directed Willow. And he's worked with George Lucas a lot.
And he could be a cover-up of sorts,
and
maybe?
He could just be a bit of a shadow director, and really Lawrence is there trying to get the film made that he wrote.
What a crazy thing to say, Michael. Yes, conspiracy theories galore at Force Talk today. We've had some reports of Lego merchandise is still due to be released for the Han Solo film at the same time, which suggests that Lucasfilm is still going to push for that May release date of 2018. What I want to ask you, Sarah, is do you think it's going to happen? Do you think we're going to get to May 2018 and see a new Star Wars film about Han Solo?
One part of me thinks yes, because they've already done half of the work. Another part of me, no. It's going to be a rush job.
Do you think, though, because they've done half the work, like, it's a lot of the stuff that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't really like. I've even heard like people talking about booting Alden Ehrenreich off the film because apparently his performance is that dodgy.
But compared to Ace Ventura,
Exactly. Well, that's worrying. I don't think anybody here was really familiar with his work like before, and nobody was crazy
Honestly,
over the moon about his
never heard of him
casting.
prior to the mention of Han Solo film.
Yeah, so I don't think
Sorry.
anybody was really particularly massively excited about his casting, and all these reports are making us even more worried about it. So, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get on that May release date?
I think it's going to be a push. Like Sarah's saying, if they've only got, say, 75-80% of the film shot and they're not happy with the majority of it by the sounds of things, really they're going to have really about 20-30% of the footage they need. So they're not only continuing filming until September, they're going to have a round of reshoots probably planned after that, which are going to be maybe even in the new year.
Well,
it's going to be quite a push. Personally, I think they should just, to make it a good film, put it back to the December date that we've all got used to anyway.
Yeah.
And then we're still getting the Star Wars films in December, and then Episode 9 obviously is supposed to come out in May as well, the following year.
One of the issues that I hear is with the December date is that Disney have released quite a lot of, or have planned a lot of films to be released in for December of that year.
Yeah,
So
I know they don't want to compete with their own films. Do
Exactly,
they? It's something like
that's
Mary
sort of-
Poppins 2 slated for release. Duh. I mean, it's not really going to be the same audience, is it?
No.
Han Solo versus Mary Poppins. So.
But it's
Maybe
still that
combine them.
Christmas market, isn't it? Go on, what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Combine the two, Han Solo Poppins.
Mary Solo.
Oh,
Ooh.
Christ, no.
Might see him in a
Lord,
dress.
no. Would you? Wonder how the fans at large would appreciate that. Probably not at all. Especially Paddy, who can't be here today to chime in.
It's a shame though, because I think, like you were saying before, when the Han Solo film was announced, it's one of those films we don't really need. We'll all want to
Much
watch
like
it.
somebody
but
may
it's-
say Mary Poppins 2,
Right, Mary
Revenge
Poppins
of the Poppetings.
But I don't know whether this is going to put more people off, knowing that it's a film they're not particularly bothered about, and it could potentially end up being rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, how many films like this? Like, this is a very, very rare story anyway for a director to change this late on. How often do you think a film studio gets through, makes a film that's had this many complications without it just being critically slated? Do you think there's any chance?
It does happen. I mean, like you mentioned, Ant-Man was received quite well, wasn't it? And there were similar problems on Rogue One, although it was
But
different.
not again, like both them films, nowhere near to this extent.
No.
This is a major worrying train wreck
Yeah.
of a film, from what the reports are saying.
I mean, there have been other films. I can't remember off the top of my head. Was it Godfather or
World War Z
World War
apparently
Z? Yeah,
was
that was one as well. Yeah, there's been quite a few, but I mean, they've turned out all right. I don't think that all hope's lost. I don't think it's going to turn out to be necessarily a bad film, but I don't know. It's just such a such a mess.
At least our
we're all
hopes aren't going to
worried
be that
about it.
high anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
could be amazing.
this was going all conspiracy.
Yeah.
I'm being a conspiracy guy because Paddy's not here.
But then you look at Ryan Johnson doing episode 8.
Rian.
Rian Johnson. He's been pretty much given a free rein to make the Star Wars film he wants. And he's, as far as we know, it's all been quite plain sailing with episode 8. So it does make me wonder how bad it was for Lord and Miller to have actually been fired from the film. How bad is it going to be?
Well, do you think that creative control is the same on the saga films as opposed to the anthology films? Do you think, because anthology films are films that we've never really had before in the Star Wars universe, this is completely new. Even Lucasfilm apparently don't know what they're doing with them. So, do you think
I think
there's more creative freedom given?
Yeah, I think
to
they've kind of
stand-up,
picked
for saga
directors
films?
for these standalone films to sort of make different kinds of Star Wars films and put their own stamp on it. But I think for Lucasfilm, it still needs to have that whole Star Wars film, so it's all part of the same franchise. You can't just go off and make a Star Wars comedy
Ace
film.
Ventura, yeah.
So I think if they're getting to the point they've been looking at the rushes or the rough edit of the film, and Kathleen Kennedy's seeing a performance like Ace Ventura, and they've got Lawrence Kasdan's script, and they're improving different scenes. I mean, it's not a surprise, is it, really?
No.
Do you think, Sarah, Ron Howard can save the day?
I'm sorry, but I don't know much about Ron Howard.
Have you seen Rush?
Nope.
Frost
Willow.
Nixon.
No.
Willow.
Yeah, I've seen Willow.
Yay.
Happy Days.
The only thing I know from Happy Days is hey, and that's not him.
No,
that the wrong
you're
show?
Right, yeah. No, you're right. So how about you? I'll throw the question over to you since she's passed.
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think he knows what he's got to do, Ron Howard. He knows he's not in there to make the film his own. I think he's there just to save it, really,
So for company line.
and just get the film that they want. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, it could end up being great. I mean, I loved Rogue One. I know. I mean, it had all the reshoots and all the all the bad press that was happening with that last year when they were saying, oh, half of it's been reshot and they've had to bring in, I can't remember his name, the other director to help in the editing process. And I thought Rogue One turned out pretty well. It'd be nice to see the original Gareth Edwards take on it before it got...
It would be,
Part
but it's
most of
never
it,
going to
but-
happen.
So-
Let's put it this way. We've still not got the original trilogy unedited
No, we haven't.
on Blu-ray yet, so I don't think there's any chance
But
of
yeah, I
seeing
think-
the director's cut
I
of
think
Rogue
that's
One.
going to
Yeah.
happen.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens though at D23 this month.
Right,
If
so-
it was going to be big sell on, big push on Han Solo, I wonder if now they're going to...
So I hear apparently they're diverting focus, and we may be seeing a behind-the-scenes video of either Han Solo or
Just be
The Last
fighting.
Jedi. Yeah, I'd put my money on For Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Like, it would make sense. So I want to put it out there. By a show of thumbs up or thumbs down, do you think Han Solo is going to be a good film? 3, 2, 1.
I'm being hopeful.
kind of hoping.
I'm
think
a
we might be
pessimist,
surprised.
evidently.
I'm kind of like
You
that at
are.
the minute. I need to see the trailer, and then it might go like that, might go like that.
Kaboom! We got Last Jedi news now, and Mike, you're going to take it away.
Well, what is, there's been a report that Ryan Johnson has mentioned that when he was, when JJ was filming The Force Awakens, Ryan asked him to make a small change to the end scene where Rey lands on Ahch-To to find Luke. Originally, I think JJ in the script had BB-8 going with her and Chewbacca, which would have been silly, really. So Ryan asked JJ to make a change and add R2 into the scene, because obviously he wants probably R2 to then follow Luke and Rey on their journey in Episode 8.
And plus, of course, BB-8 is Poe Dameron's droid.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're like,
All
what are you
makes
doing
sense.
with my droid, man? Just because you saved it doesn't mean you can keep it. That's not.
Finders
that's not
keepers.
Exactly.
That's not how droid ownership works.
And when you
damn
look at the island of Ahch-To where Luke hangs out, BB-8's never going to go up them steps anyway, is he?
No,
Also
no.
R2, but yeah.
Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson says that you can't even get across sand, so
Yeah.
and that's an astrophysicist for you. So
And so what else has happened is in Episode 9, Colin Trevorrow has now asked Ryan Johnson to include a few shots in Episode 8, The Last Jedi, to help tie into the untitled Episode 9. So yeah, what do you think? Thoughts, Sarah?
Just excited. Very excited.
yeah, it's not a tremendous amount to go off, but to know that for directors are sort of sewing these threads
Yeah.
between the films
Working
is a
together.
nice little touch, and they're all working together to make sure for episode 7, 8, 9, because that is essentially one long story as opposed to
Yeah.
3 broke up stories. So there's going to be a thread going through all of them. And I think that's great.
I think it's quite reassuring as well, because a few weeks ago it was reported that each director was basically in charge of just writing the story for each film.
Yeah.
Do you remember us saying we thought it was a bit odd that there was no overarching story, which I thought was a bit unbelievable. So this really contradicts that a bit, kind of shows that they are all talking to each other and there is probably a bit of a vision. Because it was also reported that Leia was supposed to have a bigger role in Episode 9, wasn't it?
Apparently
Meant to
so,
be
yeah.
her film.
So they wouldn't have said that if they didn't have an idea what was happening in each film. So I think this just shows that, they are all working together and trying to make it all, like I say, flow through.
Yes. So one thing that I have about that is that it could still be that random because really, R2D2 replacing BB-8 isn't that massive, drastic of a change, and it's not going to affect the plot that much. I think because even BB-8, like yes, he did sort of have the little chip thing with Luke in it, Luke's location at least, but really he didn't do an awful lot other than just be cute in the background, which is typically for droid's role in Star Wars. So
I wouldn't say R2D2 was cute.
Oh, he's lovely.
He's lovely, but he's not as cute as BB-8.
Anyway, before we get so distracted.
Okay.
Stay on point.
Stay on
Unlimited power. Yeah, so do you think it's going to be that massive of a thing in the film, like a really big plot point that Colin Trevorrow has asked Rian Johnson to put in?
Ryan.
I said Rian. Is it Ryan?
Ryan.
Okay. Is it Rian or Ryan? I've
It
made that
is,
man
it
up.
is actually Ryan.
It's happening again.
I'm going to call him R.
Johnson.
So go on.
Yeah. Is it really going to make a massive difference?
Do you think it will?
No. I don't think it will. I think it's just going to link the two films.
Just a
Depends.
tiny
Depends
little
what it is,
thing.
doesn't it? I mean, if it's like, oh, don't kill Kylo Ren at the end of episode 8 because I want to use it in episode 9, that would be fairly major.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Paddy will be happy for him to die because he killed his favourite character.
So I think we don't
And
until we
now
know what it
Paddy's
is.
dead too.
He's not dead, he's in carbonite.
He's in the trash
Wait for you to go get him out.
Which I'm not going to because
You
I'm
said
keeping my
bikini.
shoes clean. Kapow! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand spanking new Star Wars show for you today. Forces of Destiny.
Destiny.
Sounds
Nice
of Jakku.
Came out.
That's the episode. Came out today, 4th July. Although this show probably won't be released on the 4th of July because it takes time to add in cards and stuff. So
And to edit his face.
and to edit for CGI monster over here. So, CGI monster. What did you think of Forces of Destiny? Sounds of
I
Jakku.
enjoyed it. I'm just trying to work out how it fits into the film, really. But it fills in a couple of minutes of your time
3 whole minutes.
3 whole
of
minutes.
Star Wars action.
of Rey and BB-8.
We learn how Rey and BB-8 started walking towards where Rey lives and found a big slug thing.
Tremors. Worm.
Night Watcher worm,
Tremors
Yeah.
worm in the water.
which
in
feeds
the
on
sand.
junk.
It's quite cute. I didn't realise they were only going to be 3 minutes. I thought they were going to be
Yeah,
15 minutes, something like that. But
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I was disappointed. I was a little bit like, I was kind of hoping for more.
Yeah.
To be honest, like
an actual story.
'cause it's like at the celebration we were told about Force of Destiny, how it was going to be shining a light on the women of Star Wars, and like telling the untold stories of all the great things that the women characters had done. 3 minutes isn't a whole lot of greatness for a female character. Like you've got
There's not
massive,
a lot they can show, though, with Rey, is there?
not
Especially with
with
BB-8.
Rey, yeah.
Unless is that the only one with Rey, or are there going to be more
So-
I
episodes
think that
coming
is
on?
the only one with Rey. The next one's going to be Ahsoka, is it?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So we might get a bit more.
It's
I
not
know
really giving you
Ahsoka.
much, is it? Because
Yeah.
at the beginning you get Maz Kanata telling you about how you can change Forces of Destiny, and then it's just Rey fighting a worm.
Yeah.
Sounds like every night out for me.
But no,
Sounds
it's,
like every morning
it's all
for
right.
me.
It's nice to hear Daisy Ridley doing the voice. I
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great that they've got the original
Right.
cast for roles that they can do. Like, we've got Daisy Ridley back for Rey. We've got Felicity Jones back for Jyn Erso. We've got new actors in for Padme and Leia, because obviously Carrie Fisher's on timely demise, and Natalie Portman's just like, nah, I don't want to deal with
Yeah.
Star Wars anymore. Damn near almost ruined my career, which, fair enough, understandable. But then again, a lot of money going around Star Wars nowadays, so why not redeem yourself, Natalie? Not that, yeah, well, your acting was a bit iffy in it, but hey, you've won an Oscar since, so you've obviously turned that boat around. Are you a big Natalie Portman fan?
Yeah. She will always be Padme to me.
Would you like to see her in Forces of Destiny? Would you like to see her in a better show that wasn't 3 minutes long?
Yes.
Me too.
Maybe that's
Me
why she
too.
didn't do it when she found out it was like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought it was a bit.
A waste.
It is a shame. It is a shame.
I like the way it tied in though, the little thing with the red eyes, that you see in the film.
Yes.
And kind of watch this BB-8 walk off. I thought, they roll off. But
And then it was
gonna roll away.
quite a surprise that it was this big, massive worm thing.
yeah, it looked a bit silly when it actually did come out of the ground, and the
Yeah.
eyes were actually just like a little antenna thing.
Yeah.
But it's alright.
But it's added to the canon at least, hasn't it? Like we now know what that thing looks like, and then and that can start showing up in computer games, yada yada yada. We've added to the canon. Let's hope it keeps up in the quality, up in the running time, ideally, because 3 minutes is just way too short. I need more Star Wars. I'm sure everybody on this panel agrees. We need more Star Wars. Give it us, Lucasfilm. Come on. Blammo! Hey, now it's time for Chosen Ones. And today we're talking about Sarah's favourite character. Not actually Sarah, but Sarah's favourite character, Boba Fett. So, Mike, show us what you got.
Right.
Without
Boba-
taking off your pants.
Boba or Boba. I was calling Boba Fett. Do you call him Boba Fett?
Yeah, I always thought it was Boba. Well,
Boba.
this can be our first point of contention about Chosen Ones.
I've always called him Boba.
Boba.
So that's the first thing.
Boba.
Boba.
Both on whether it's Boba or Boba.
Don't they even say Boba in the films?
Booba.
Boba. They do.
Yeah.
On Return of the Jedi, Han Solo says Boba Fett, and then he turns around. Anyway, we digress.
Back to it.
Yeah, but in Attack of the Clones, like Boba.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's a prequel film, so it's not quite.
Yeah, so
There's nothing wrong with the prequels.
No. Right, well, Boba Fett, I don't need to go into too much detail. We all know Boba Fett, the coolest bounty hunter of the lot.
Let's not assume, Mike.
No, well, first introduced in The Empire Strikes Back, everyone wanted the action figure. I remember I wanted the 12-inch action figure back in the 80s, and I had to wait for... There's a kid called... Well, I know his name, I won't say on the show. Who lived in the Grove near me, and he was from America, and his dad came back over from a visit to the States, and he had all like the Kenner 12-inch figures. He had C-3PO, R2, Darth Vader, and the Stormtrooper. So I was like really jealous because you couldn't get them over here. And then my dad managed to find the first Boba Fett 12-inch figure, and I went round showed this kid, and he was like really jealous.
Is that the one
That's
that's
one of my
kinda
earliest collecting memories?
is that the
brings
one
me
that's
some
like
joy.
blue and green?
No, it's quite a good figure actually. You could look through the back, like the old. Hayden will remember. Do you remember the old? Yeah, the old action. Yeah, and you could look through the back of the head, and it had like a little vision thing. Yeah, it had one of them, so you could actually look through the back of Boba Fett's head, and
So it
through
was
his
like a
through his
key?
through his visor, you could actually see like a little lens thing, which was quite cool. And anyway, so it was a good figure.
I've got to call you out on some factual inaccuracies there.
God.
He wasn't first introduced in
Ah,
Empire Strikes
true.
Back. He was first
Holiday.
introduced in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
Riding a dinosaur, ladies and gents.
And he had a spear as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
had like
basically it was a very, very pimp
Double-pronged
entrance.
spear.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone knows I was referring to the first live action.
Of course,
appearance
of course.
Boba Fett. And then he died rather disappointingly by rolling down a sandpit. into
Did he
the cellar.
No, he didn't.
Wait. As far as we know.
Canon says yes.
And then we got to see him in the prequels, which brings me to my first question, really. I won't go on anymore about the history of Boba Fett, because what I want to ask is, did you like the backstory of Boba Fett in episode 2?
They didn't really do much, did they?
Yeah.
They just showed him with his dad, told us that he were unaltered.
Did you like the fact he was a clone, though?
Yep.
You did?
Yes.
You thought it was good?
It was interesting, I guess. I mean, I never got the impression in the original trilogy that Boba Fett had such a thing against the Jedi. Like, obviously he's come up close and personal with the Jedi, but his motivations weren't really explored in the original trilogy. Well,
We didn't know anything about
we
him.
didn't know
really, did
anything.
we?
He
No.
barely said anything, did he?
No.
Yeah.
Just
His motivation.
to me.
Okay. His motivation against the Jedi. Windu chopped off his dad's head.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't do really anything against the Jedi for films.
In the films?
No, not in the films, but then in Clone Wars, he comes into a few episodes. Don't ask me which ones. It's a few years since I've watched them, but Boba Fett comes in when he's still like a teenager, is he?
Yeah, and he pretends he goes under the name Lucky, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
When he boards the cruiser with Mace Windu on board.
Yeah, the Jedi cruiser. Mm-hmm. And then he kidnaps Mace, doesn't he, and holds him hostage. And does he? I think he pulls out a gun on Plo Koon. Yeah.
Is that the one with the mask? Because if
Yeah,
so, that
yeah.
is Plo Koon.
So he was developed in the Clone Wars, and he got in with Aurra Singh and Bosk and some of the other bounty hunters, which was quite nice to see how he sort of went down that road of becoming.
Yeah.
Sort of
I mean, he
following
was
his-
always going to, because his dad did it as well, didn't he?
That's the other thing. Is he actually his dad? When it's a clone, is it not his... I thought it should be his brother, really. Because all the clones are brothers, so really, just because he's younger. He calls him dad, doesn't he?
I think that was more through Jango Fett just wanting a kid,
child,
but
yeah.
Can't
for
be
whatever
bothered going
reason.
through the effort with the woman, so he just...
Yeah.
Here you go, some DNA. Done.
Which raises questions about Django, but that's another show.
Oh, well, let's ask these questions
Oh, what
now.
are the
Let's
questions?
ask for controversial questions.
Well, do you think it was a...
Do you think he's into the space worm? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. It's just a bit strange, isn't
What
it?
is it with
If
you
you
guys
haven't...
and space worms?
It freaked me out. If someone was using me to make a clone army, which, let's face it, they'd never use me to make a clone army. But if they did, you wouldn't think, oh, I'll have another clone of me and bring it up as my own child. No, it's just...
I would, but
Morally.
I'm
Cannon fodder,
I'm
it's his
completely
DNA.
insane.
Could be like, it's not me.
No, I'd be like, 6-year-old, get to the gym. Look at me, get to the gym.
I mean, what I'd probably prefer to do is like have a clone version of me, and then start putting on magic shows, and like doing like, I'm over here, but now I'm over here.
See, this is it.
Like
All-
for prestige.
It's just all kinds of wrong that it leads to. Anyway, right, so...
Moving on.
So
Well, that was-
Django not into ladies apparently, or not.
Unless he
not
maybe he
visible.
was sterile and he couldn't father children.
Maybe.
Shooting blanks.
Yeah.
Well, we have been
Not
promised
obvious
by
rocket
Kathleen Kennedy a gay character.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be Django. Maybe they're going to retcon it.
Yeah. So then it makes you wonder... Well, at least he went on
He
to
maybe
my
just
next
loved
question.
himself.
Yeah, well, he obviously did, didn't he? But next question then. Do you think Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc? Because in EU, Sarah will tell us, in EU he did, didn't he?
Go on, tell us all about the EU.
Climbed out of it. Sheer will, armour, Mandalorian training. He got out. Definitely.
Because I always thought, wouldn't he have just fired his rocket and blown the Sarlacc up? You know, his rocket thing on his back.
His jetpack, which got chopped up before he fell in.
Yeah, true.
They get knackered, didn't it? And then
Yeah.
he fell
But-
down.
And he
I
got
think it was
kicked
always
out.
gadgets and things. I know, and we've seen Django crawling up the side of the metal dome on Camino, so he could have sliced his way out of the
I think that's
Sarlacc's
actually-
beak easily.
I think that's how he climbed out, though.
So
There's a lot of teeth in there, though. Like, and he's wearing gloves. Like, it depends how grippy them gloves are, how easy them teeth are to hold on to.
yeah.
I think he'd have a hard job getting out of that pit.
So the fact that in
I'm gonna say he's
Stop
dead.
jumping on my dreams, okay?
I'm gonna say he's dead.
so we've heard you think he's dead. You want him to.
I want him to
live.
be alive because I love Boba.
Which this ties into my next question. Would you like to see a standalone film? And if you did, would you want it to be post Return of the Jedi, or if he survived the Sarlacc, or before in the intervening years where we're getting all the other films at the minute?
That's a bit hard, actually.
I don't. I'm gonna throw it out there. I do not want to see a Boba Fett film. I may be the only Star Wars fan, and like I appreciate I've been pretty negative on a lot of aspects on today's show, but trust me, I do
Negative Nelly.
really love Star Wars. Won a Star Wars quiz single-handedly. That's how much that's how much I love Star Wars. But personally, I don't feel Boba Fett has done enough in the
Boba Fett.
films to win over the general public. Like, somebody who doesn't care about Star Wars isn't gonna be particularly motivated about going to see a Boba Fett film, because you've got to think of it this way: it's like a Han Solo film. If you ask like your average dude on the street who doesn't really care about Star Wars, it's like, do you know who Han Solo is? Yes. What's he done? And he'd be able to probably say Well, he helped blow up for Death
He was
Star,
Star Trek.
and he was in. Yeah, he got frozen in carbonite. Like, there's things that character's done.
Yeah.
Boba Fett stood on a bridge, flew a ship about, and then stood in the background in Jabba's palace.
Stop jumping on my dreams.
Then fell down a pit in what was pretty comedic, really, for a death, wasn't it? It's like, hey, here's this bounty hunter that everybody thinks is a badass. Bug.
I think if they made a film, I don't think he's a strong enough character to carry the film. And let's face it, you're going to want your main character to. You won't see the face. You're going to have to take his helmet off for most of the film, and it's just going to ruin the mystique. But I think what could work is if they did a kind of bounty hunter heist film where he's just one of the characters.
Or a single boss.
Like a Suicide Squad, but good.
Yeah.
Star Wars characters.
Because if you had a director like Dave Filoni, who writes and directs Rebels and stuff, he could pull it off.
I know Collider champion Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Like Helm in a film, and like I do like Rebels. Don't get me wrong, but he's directed one film in the Star Wars universe, and what was that film? It was for Clone Wars, which, if you think The Phantom Menace was bad,
it had a baby hut. I liked it.
It did have a baby hut in it.
It also had like a hut that like was pink and sort of like Truman Capote, which
I think with Dave Filoni though, he knows
was weird.
He knows Star
and English,
Wars.
spoke English. Like, what hut speaks English?
Yeah.
What's the point in
I know, that was weird.
Yeah, I hated that.
And the glow-in-the-dark tattoos. Which are a bit random. Well, he does know his Star Wars, Dave Filoni. I think if they were to give him a film, I mean, to me it'd be better maybe a Netflix series or something, a live-action series based on the Bounty Hunters would be really good.
I'd like that Netflix series so I can watch it in bed.
So are we all agreed we don't want a Boba Fett standalone film? Thumbs down?
Not Boba Fett on his own. I don't think so. So she's doing 2 thumbs up, so that like makes it a draw. So I'm gonna give my there we go. Officially outnumbered now.
Well, one thing they could do, which is my next question, especially as we've discussed in the news about the Han Solo film getting into a bit of a state. Do you think they're going to maybe have Boba Fett appear as a character in the Han Solo film as one of the antagonists, see how their relationship first clashed, or...
Well, their relationship only really started because of Jabba, sorry. It was Vader wanting the rebel pilot, didn't he?
Oh, when was that in the... Was that in Rebels?
Not in Rebels.
Clone Wars?
Sorry, my brain has just
or
gone
is this EU?
Head's gone.
Because what I was thinking was with the Han Solo film coming out, we're going to have Lando. Probably, I think it's rumoured Jabba the Hutt's going to make an appearance. So to me, it would just make sense for Boba Fett to appear. And I thought it might be quite cool if he's actually working with Han. If they have him like maybe on again, we're doing our audition to be scriptwriters here for Lucasfilm.
I'm just happy to be like in the background with Boba.
But I'd love to see Boba Fett and Han Solo actually working together in the film, trying to doing some smuggling, and then Han Solo does something like betrays Boba Fett or vice versa, and then they become sworn enemies, and that's why Boba Fett's hunting Han in the original trilogy.
Do you think Boba Fett is a character that Han would be scared of?
Yes.
Like, maybe you could have like a bullying relationship, like where Boba, like, cause I feel like Boba's character hasn't been fully realized. Like, he should be an antagonist. He should be for ass who's like Han Solo.
I think I like how you don't do that with me.
There you go. Well, it's just like he should be for sort of guy who's throwing his weight around, being like for cocksure bounty hunter. It's like, what, are you just a smuggler?
Yeah, no, I disagree. I think
smugglers.
I think it'd be cool if him and Han meet when they. I mean, because they're going to be pretty young, and I think the Han Solo film spans 6 years, isn't it?
Apparently
so.
So
if
Han
and Boba Fett first meet, and there might be a bit of like camaraderie, but a bit of competition between them, but they actually go off and do something together. But then pretty quick,
professions, though.
Pretty quick, they betray each other.
Smuggler and a bounty hunter will be working together.
Because to me, if they just
be going against each other,
if they just bring Boba Fett in to play the same sort of antagonistic relationship with Han that he had in the original trilogy, it's just rehashing it, being a bit of a twist if they're actually working together. And
yeah, maybe.
And then they betray each other. Or Boba Fett tries to kill Han, stab him in the back.
In the expanded
and
universe, he actually trains Han's daughter.
Well, that leads me on to my next thing, actually. This is where Sarah comes into her own on this subject.
Really comment to me on.
I don't really know much about what was written about Boba Fett in the EU, so I was going to ask, are there any stories in the EU that you'd like to, or you think that they'll bring back as canon? And if so, you can tell
I like
us
the
about
idea of his wife being canon. And that would
Tell
mean
us about his wife. I know nothing about this.
she was a bounty hunter as well, who unfortunately was frozen in carbonite, very much like Han, and
Ironic.
didn't come out until quite some time later when she had a grandchild.
Really?
She had a
Wow.
grandchild in carbonite?
They had a daughter together
Right,
prior,
I get you.
and then she got frozen, and then her grandchild and Boba helped her escape.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. And was this after Return of the Jedi, do you know? Or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So they could, because they are sort of cherry picking what they want from legends, aren't they? So,
We should cherry pick some more.
and yeah, I can't think of anything else that was in EU. There's a few comics, obviously. And
Yeah.
He
No.
trained Jaina. He was Mandalore. I'm not quite sure which Mandalore he was.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Mandalore, as in the representative of the Mandalorians.
Oh, right, okay.
Glory be to Mandalore.
So, what's the point in that? Like, why do they have a
It's-
specific guy? Is that basically like a president?
President,
essentially?
leader,
Okay.
chief
And when
turn.
was that? Was that after the Sarlacc pit? Fair enough. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty cool character there. I think they can do more with him. I just don't want oversaturation. You need to keep that mystique about him. I
Even
think.
if it's not with him specifically, I want something more in the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
yes.
And there has been
Or
something like
even
Rebels, hasn't there, as well?
Well, it's little known, but like in the early 2000s, George Lucas actually started working on, well, in the early 2010s, I think, before Disney bought Lucasfilm. George Lucas was actually working on a script for a bounty hunter show, which would have Boba Fett as the main character.
Oh, Daniel
it's
Logan.
Daniel Logan, yes, as the main character. But that obviously never saw light of day. Disney bought Lucasfilm, and I think that script was thrown on fire or something along those
Well,
lines.
Daniel
So
has recently been fitted for a whole Boba Fett costume.
Yeah. Well, was that on the internet? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well, I
on
think
his
so.
Instagram.
So is that an official Lucasfilm thing, or do we not know?
See, I think-
I don't really know, but I know Wasted Fett was promoting it quite a lot.
So, with the timing of that, does that not lean heavily towards him being in the Han Solo film?
That's a good point, actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
If they are making another standalone film, it's not going to be for a few years yet anyway. So why
And
would they
he's
be fitting
working
him
a lot
now
with Ray Park.
on combat training?
Yeah.
Ah.
The plot thickens, so he could be in the Han Solo film. It's looking more likely, isn't it?
And yes,
Which would be cool. I mean, he
hope
needs
so.
to be there. You know, and to me, I think it gets back to what I was saying before about the state of the Han Solo film. If they suddenly have a bit of switch of marketing instead of, we'll hold back and let it be a surprise that Boba Fett's in, they might actually bring a trailer out and just show Boba Fett up front and centre.
Or
And people are
even
going
just
to be
in the last
like,
couple
we've
of
got to go and see
seconds,
the
like,
film.
He's no good to me, Dad. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Because you'd really want to see the film then if you saw Boba Fett in the trailer, wouldn't you?
I will.
there's no real sort of indicator of who the antagonist of Han Solo film is. Like, we know Woody Harrelson's in it, but he's meant to be like a mentor. Like, I don't know if they're going to do that little switcheroo thing where it's like, I'm your mentor, but now I'm the bad guy, which is really
Well,
tired.
A little rumour that's
Old
just popped back into my head, which I could have actually mentioned in the news segment. I believe it's been leaked, and how believable it is, that Woody Harrelson's character,
Deckard.
Deckard, is it? No, it's not Deckard, is it?
Is this rumour that he is a bounty hunter?
No, it's that he's actually, him and Chewbacca are buddies in it.
Yeah, I've heard
And
that,
that's
yeah.
how Han Solo meets Chewbacca,
Oh.
which is quite nice. So, if
So
they're doing that kind of backstory, I'm leaning 90% that Boba Fett's going to be in the Han Solo
Yeah,
film.
you're going to get them little Star Wars fan service points where
Not the
you
action
can
figures
really
they're going
kind
to sell at Christmas if Boba Fett's in the film.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes perfect sense from a marketing standpoint.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's chosen ones for this episode.
Back at Doom! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's contest time. And to tell us about this contest, we've got our lovely Sarah over here.
As we said on the past couple of shows, Club Star Wars are doing a competition for a new background. It needs to be 1920 by 1080 in size, and it needs to include your gamer tag. And if you can please submit it to
Suspense, I like it.
clubstarwars@outlook.com. And may the force be with you.
It is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I know, but
We get Paddy back next time, don't you worry.
yes.
Dig him out the trash compactor.
I think we
No.
get him out the carbonite.
To be honest, I'm gonna stay on as host of the show because I'm having a massive power trip, and if Paddy introduces the show next time, we've had a fight and he's won.
I have a vote of no confidence.
Oof. I am for Senate. Anyway, right, so that's a wrap this week. Before you go, please, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up right there, or right there, I presume. And also, don't forget to subscribe and add us on Twitter at
SW Force Talk.
I remembered.
So did I. Just in time.
And have we got anything else? Facebook?
Yeah, send in questions on Twitter and
Instagram as well.
On Instagram.
SW Force Talk on Instagram as well.
We're
I believe.
everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Just look
In
for
your
us and you'll
beds,
find
in the
us.
trees, everywhere.
We're like Ewoks. We're watching you.
Ewoks, but people like us, I think. I
Yes.
hope.
Well, we're cuddly like Ewoks, I think. Anyway, I digress. This is it. This is the end. Goodbye forever, Star Wars fans.
Bye.
We're not forever. We're not actually.
What the hell was that?